Back now on Triad today. Anybody out in the audience? Now wake up. I've got it. Well, if you're watching this on Sunday night, you're probably already awake. But if you're watching Friday morning, I want to wake you up with this news. Do you want to save money on gasoline? Yes. Everybody's shaking your head. Yes. J. Power Director, let's meet a lady who's going to tell us how to save money and time. She's the lovely Tammie Holt. She comes to us as Loan Documentation Risk Manager and Assistant Vice President at Southern Community Bank. But her real title for this segment is she is a vanpool driver. And we welcome you to the show. How you doing, Tammie?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good to see you. Tammie Holt. And we talked about saving money. Let's get to this in a second. First of all, you work for Southern Community Bank, but they have a lot of different locations. What location do you work at?
I'm off Stratford Road.
Okay. And how far is that from your home?
It's like 92 miles.
Okay. So do you have any, I'm asking you this on the spur of the moment, do you have any kind of calculation in your head per year what you had been, when you were driving to work in your own car, that you were spending per year on like gasoline and maintenance and stuff?
Close to $4,000.
See, and I think the national average is around $5,000, and that doesn't surprise you, does it?
No.
Because even inner city driving, people are doing a lot of stop and start stuff and doing errands. Now, let me ask you this: how did you find out about the vanpool program?
There was a lady that worked with us, had heard about it on the TV, and I just called and I got some information, and we all talked about it, and we said, hey, this looks like a way to save money. So. And
you're the actual driver, right?
Yes.
And how many people in your van?
We have 6.
6. Mm-hmm. And they all they like the experience,
yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. So they're all saving money. And now, how many, does the bank, the Southern Community Bank, reimburse you guys in any way for doing this vanpool experience? How does that work?
They don't reimburse us, but they do the payroll deduction, and that comes out before taxes, so that saves us a little money there.
On the tax situation. All right, that's good enough. Now, how is, you know, in this, I'll mention to the folks at home that this is a segment that the good folks at PART help us put together and identified Tammie for us, and I thank them for that. So speaking of PART, what role do they have in this in terms of, you know, where the van comes from or gasoline or whatever? Tell me all about that.
They come and service our van from Greensboro. We have a gas card that they provide for us when we need to fill up the van. And when it gets time for the maintenance, they call and say, we're coming to get it, and they bring us a replacement. I mean,
so you really don't have any headaches on this,
no.
do you? And do the other riders sort of, are they able to do some work or chit-chat or take a nap? I mean, what's going on when they're riding? I've never been in a vanpool before.
Well, some of us take naps, and some of us talk or do our little emails on our iPhones and that kind of thing. But,
right. Not while you're driving,
no.
but the riders. The riders.
Yes, the riders.
How did you decide you wanted to be the driver?
I'm not sure how I ended up being the driver or the...
Did you get voted, or I mean, what?
No, it just sort of, I guess since I initiated it, they...
Now, I'm gonna put
we all take turns at times.
Oh, you do take
yes.
turns. I was wondering about that. Now, see if you can do this by memory. You had how many drivers again? I mean, how many riders again?
6.
What areas do they live in?
We have 2 from Pilot Mountain, 1 from Pinnacle, and 2 from Mount Airy.
Okay, so I mean, this is really a good cost savings and a good solution for. What would you say to people if you're going out and giving a speech or something like that to people who say, well, we don't do that yet in my company, or we don't do that yet at this particular industry? What would you say to them if you had to take a minute and say, here are the benefits, here's what I think you ought to do? What would you say?
I highly recommend it. I mean, just sitting down and figuring up the cost savings for me, it was close to $3,000 a year.
Yeah.
So it's very beneficial and efficient, and
and you like to drive anyway. There's a website I want to put up because we mentioned PART a while ago, and it's www.partnc.org. Because keep in mind that PART does a lot of things. They have not only helping to coordinate the vanpool program, but as you know, Tammie, they have the buses, and so the routes for the buses and the schedules are up there too. And they give all sorts of programs during the year and talk to people about carpooling and taking the Triad Commute Challenge, which we'll be talking about later on in the year. So a lot of things going on, but we just appreciate what you're doing and giving us sort of testimonial of vanpool driving.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much for doing that. All right.